Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fastpitch Power. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the curveball, which, along with the drop curve, are my favorite movement pitches. When we're talking about throwing a movement pitch, we want that ball to move as close to home plate as possible in order to be as certain as you can as a pitcher that you are getting a hitter to commit to putting their bat head where they think the ball is going to be and have that ball end up someplace else. That is the key to an effective movement pitch. Now we're going to talk in a second about at what point a batter has to start their swing in order to make a pass at a given pitch. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, I want to talk about what it is that makes a movement pitch move. Because a lot of pitchers think that if I start a curveball, let's talk about a right-hand pitcher pitching to a right-hand batter, on this side of the pitching lane that ends up on that side of the pitching lane, that I have automatically thrown a curveball. Well, that's not necessarily true. Because what we see in a lot of young developing pitchers is taking their pitching hand and dragging it across the throw zone while rotating their shoulders to drag the ball from one side of the pitching lane to the other. Now, the ball ends up where you think a curveball should end up, but it didn't really move. So what is it that makes a movement pitch move? The answer is very simple. It's spin, and lots of it. Now, I don't want to get too technical, but what is it about a spinning softball or baseball that makes the ball move? I'm a big physics guy, so basically what makes it move is the pressure variation, air pressure variation, from one side of the ball to the other side of the ball. That's in a pitch that is moving in and out this way, up and down. So your in-out pitches basically are your curveball and your screwball. Up, down, your rise ball and your drop ball is the difference in air pressure between the bottom of the ball and the top of the ball. And in order to create that pressure variation, you have to develop a tremendous amount of spin. Now, Coach Jill has talked about this many times on drills that you can do on your knee, in your own home, to just develop that spin. But as far as a curveball is concerned, we want to make sure that that ball is spinning to your maximum ability, which is going to increase as you become a more and more advanced pitcher, so that the ball doesn't just curve, it bites. Now, what's the difference between curve and bite? And this is where, when a hitter swings at a ball and has to start that swing in order to know that that hitter is going to make an attempt to hit whatever pitch it is that you're throwing. So if I'm at bat and I'm waiting for the pitcher to pitch, right about halfway from where the pitcher delivers the ball to where home plate is, I have to start my swing. If I don't start my swing, by the time the ball is halfway to home plate, now I'm not swinging at that ball. Or if I am, I'm swinging so late that it's going to hit the catcher's glove, then my backhand's going to come through, and I got no chance of hitting the ball. So you need to have a movement pitch move within 6, 7 feet of the plate, ideally 4 or 5 feet as you become more advanced, and that has everything to do with how much spin you impart on that ball. So for a curveball, let's just talk about that now because that's what we want to focus on today. When I come off the pitching rubber and I land, and hopefully you guys can see the power line that I've drawn on the dirt here. When I land, getting ready to throw my fastball, I land in power K position, my glove hand is pointing at my target, and I've established a throw zone directly over the power line. My stride foot, which is my left foot for a right-hand pitcher, right foot for a left-hand pitcher, is about an inch or two to the left of the power line, and my drive foot is pretty much touching the edge of the power line. So there's a tiny bit of offset, which allows my elbow and my pitching hand to be, we've talked about this many times, to be over the power line in the throw zone, giving me a clear, unobstructed path to my target, which at this particular point is a fastball right down the middle of the plate, and I deliver the ball to the end of the throw zone and drive through without the throw zone breaking down, without the throw zone moving. Same thing holds true for a curveball or any movement pitch, but we're talking about a curveball today. The difference is the shape of the throw zone changes. So as I come off the pitching rubber now, and the pitching rubber's back there, but I want to be close enough to you so you guys can see this. As I come off the pitching rubber now, I'm going to cross my stride foot over the power line by maybe 2-3 inches. That creates front side resistance. That front side resistance I do not want to break down, because now my throw zone for my curveball, very small, is right here, right in front of my body. From my back pocket, which is where my elbow is, that's the back of the throw zone, to my front pocket. And as I come across that throw zone, which is now shaped like a curveball, throw zone, my fingers are outside the ball, and I am creating spin by using side-to-side wrist action, 4-3-2-1 finger action, and a real quick lower arm. It's still forearm fire. Forearm fire for a fastball, elbow leads, forearm fires. I get to the end of the throw zone. Elbow leads, curveball, nice relaxed wrist, and instead of going this way now, as it would for a fastball, is going to go this way, sideways, with my fingers outside the ball, creating that kind of spin and getting to my destination, which is the top of my front pocket. Now, I want to get to that destination in as short a distance and time as possible. So getting to my destination is not a sweeping, long affair where I get my path way past the front of my body and then come back to my destination. It's a waste of time and space. It's getting from the back of the throw zone to my destination as quickly as possible. That will create that when you use the correct wrist action and you use the correct finger action, that will create the tight spin that you need to have that ball travel 30, 35 feet straight and then make it smooth. Now, the one thing we haven't talked about here is velocity. You could throw off-speed curveballs, and it's just going to be noticed as a curveball sooner because of the lack of speed. I prefer my curveballs and my drop balls to be power pitches, not off-speed pitches. And the more velocity you can generate forward along with that spin, and that spin is basically going to be 3 to 9 o'clock spin, okay, on a clock, 3 to 9 o'clock spin. The more spin you can create with maximum amount of velocity, the later that ball is going to move. Let's not forget, batter standing there, ball leaves pitcher's hand, 20, 25 feet from the plate, that batter has to make a decision. I made a decision. This ball looks like it's coming right down the middle of the plate. I'm going to swing at it. Here's my bat head here, and the ball within 5 feet of the plate has taken a left-hand turn really quickly, if you're a right-hand pitcher, a left-hand turn, and moved that ball away from the center of that batter's bat head. That is what is critical for any movement pitch. And again, the curveball is my favorite movement pitch. So in order to create that kind of tight spin, along with that kind of velocity, you have to make sure that your hand speed is the same as it would be for your fastball, and that you are getting from the back of the throw zone to your destination, which is the top of your front pocket, as quickly as you possibly can without using shoulders and hips. As soon as I start moving my shoulders and hips, my hand is going to take a longer path to the destination which is now moving away from my ball. My destination is here. I want to get to it quickly. If it's moving, my hand is looking for that destination. Can't find it because it's moving away. My hand goes past the front of my body, then comes around, and I lose bite. What I get instead is drift. And good hitters, when they see a ball, even a ball that is actually curving, when they see that too soon, they can make the necessary adjustment to drive that ball. So spin, along with velocity, is what creates terrific movement of your ball. It takes a long time to develop that velocity, and it takes a long time to develop the tight spin that you need in order to be as effective as you will ultimately be. Now, you can't expect, if you're 10, 11, 12 years old, to throw the same level of movement pitch as you will when you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. As you develop your strength, the quickness in your lower arm, the ability to control your body to perform these movements with optimal biomechanics, the better you're going to be as a pitcher. I hope that this has been useful to you. Love hearing your comments and how you feel about your movement pitches and any problems you may be having. Please let us know. Talk to you next time.